The sun, a molten disk, crept over the Himalayas. Its first rays pierced the cold, thin air, casting a warm glow over the rugged terrain. The dawn was a spectacle of nature's grandeur, a daily reminder of the timeless beauty and harshness of these ancient mountains. Peaks, shrouded in snow and shadow, blazed with golden light. The snow sparkled like a sea of diamonds, and the shadows retreated, unveiling the majestic splendor of the Himalayas. It was a scene of serene beauty, yet beneath this tranquil facade, tensions brewed. A new day. But in the valleys below, ancient hatreds simmered. The mist that clung to the valleys was a metaphor for the obscured and complex history of the region. Generations had lived and died here, their lives intertwined with the land and its conflicts. India and Pakistan, locked in a deadly embrace for decades. The border, a line drawn in the sand, was a constant reminder of the unresolved disputes. Soldiers patrolled this line, their presence a testament to the fragile peace that hung by a thread. Kashmir, the bone of contention, a land of breathtaking beauty, soaked in blood. Its valleys and rivers, once symbols of peace and prosperity, now echoed with the sounds of conflict. The people of Kashmir, caught in the crossfire, yearned for a day when peace would return to their homeland. The ceasefire was a fiction, honored only in the breach. Violations were frequent, each one a spark that could ignite a larger conflagration. The soldiers on both sides knew this, yet they continued their vigil, ever watchful, ever ready. Skirmishes along the line of control, a daily ritual. These confrontations were a grim reminder of the unresolved tensions, each skirmish a test of resolve, a demonstration of power, and a harbinger of the potential for greater conflict. But today, the stakes would rise to the heavens. The conflict was no longer confined to the ground. The skies above the Himalayas, once a domain of peace, were now a new battleground. High above the jagged peaks, a flight of Indian Su-30 MKIs soared. These sleek, powerful machines were a symbol of India's military might. Their presence in the skies was a message, a show of strength and readiness. Sleek, deadly, they were the guardians of the skies. Their pilots, trained to the highest standards, were prepared for any eventuality. They patrolled the skies with vigilance, aware of the responsibility that rested on their shoulders, but they were about to meet their match. The skies, once a realm of tranquility, were now a theater of war. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the limits of human endurance and technological prowess. The dawn of a new day in the Himalayas had brought with it the promise of conflict, a reminder that peace is a fragile and elusive dream. The pilots, young men, their faces hardened by years of conflict, gripped their controls. They had trained for this moment. They were ready to die for their country. The order crackled over their headsets, cross the line of control, strike the terrorist camps. No mercy. Their fingers tightened on the triggers. The Su-30 MKIs roared, their engines screaming defiance at the mountains. The jets streaked across the border into Pakistani airspace. Below, Pakistani radar stations came alive. The incursion was detected. Alarms blared. The time for reckoning was at hand. Pakistani F-16s, veterans of countless dogfights, scrambled to intercept. Their pilots, fueled by rage and patriotism, yearned for a fight. The J-10Cs, China's lethal gift to Pakistan, joined the fray. Armed with advanced missiles, they were a formidable foe. The sky, once a canvas of blue, became a chaotic battleground. Jets twisted and turned, their contrails painting deadly patterns on the air. The first missiles were launched. The air crackled with energy. The fate of nations hung in the balance. The Su-30 MKIs, outmatched but not outclassed, danced through the sky. These formidable machines, with their sleek design and powerful engines, were a testament to human ingenuity and engineering prowess. They moved with a grace that belied their deadly purpose, weaving intricate patterns in the air as they engaged in a deadly ballet of aerial combat. Their pilots, veterans of countless simulations, pushed their machines to the limit. Each maneuver was a calculated risk, a testament to their skill and bravery. These men and women with nerves of steel had trained for years for moments like this. Their eyes scanned the skies, fingers dancing over controls, making split-second decisions that could mean the difference between life and death. Missiles streaked past, leaving trails of smoke and fire. Each launch was a gamble, a high-stakes game of cat and mouse played at supersonic speeds. The sky was a canvas of chaos, painted with the fiery trails of missiles and the thunderous booms of explosions. Every missile that missed its mark was a narrow escape, every hit a devastating blow. The mountains echoed with the roar of engines and the thunder of explosions. The rugged terrain below was a stark contrast to the high-tech warfare being waged above. The sound of battle reverberated through the valleys, a symphony of destruction that could be heard for miles. The mountains stood as silent witnesses to the fierce struggle unfolding in the skies. A Pakistani F-16 caught in the crosshairs erupted in a ball of flame. The explosion was a brilliant flash of light, a moment of intense heat and destruction. The jet, once a symbol of power and precision, was now a falling star, its fiery descent a stark reminder of the brutal reality of war. The pilot ejected, his parachute a tiny speck against the vast canvas of the sky. As he drifted down, he was a lone figure in a vast expanse, a human life caught in the midst of a deadly conflict. The parachute billowed out, a fragile lifeline in the chaos of battle, carrying him away from the inferno that had once been his aircraft. But the Indians had also taken losses. The cost of battle was high, and the price was paid in blood and metal. Each wrecked aircraft was a testament to the ferocity of the fight, a silent witness to the bravery and sacrifice of its pilot. The twisted wreckage told a story of courage and loss, of lives changed forever in the blink of an eye. One of their Su-30 MKIs, crippled by a direct hit, spiraled towards the earth, trailing smoke. The once majestic machine was now a falling giant, its descent a tragic end to a fierce battle. The smoke trail marked its path, a somber reminder of the cost of war. As it plummeted, the sky seemed to mourn the loss, the echoes of battle fading into a haunting silence. The battle raged for what seemed like an eternity, but in reality, it was a matter of minutes. Minutes that felt like hours to those involved, each second stretching out as if time itself was holding its breath. Minutes that would decide the fate of millions. In the briefing rooms, commanders pored over maps and strategies, their faces etched with worry and determination. Soldiers, young and old, prepared themselves for the fight ahead, their expressions a mix of fear and resolve. The pilots, their faces grim, fought with the ferocity of cornered animals. Each one knew that their skill and bravery were all that stood between victory and defeat. They were the tip of the spear, the ones who would bear the brunt of the enemy's fury. They knew that surrender was not an option. As their jets roared down the runways and into the sky, they left behind everything they knew, everything they loved, to face an uncertain fate. The sky was a maelstrom of metal and fire. Explosions lit up the heavens, each one a testament to the deadly dance being performed. The air was thick with the smell of burning fuel and the sound of engines straining to their limits. Jets screamed past each other, their cannons spitting death. The pilots maneuvered with precision and desperation, each one trying to outthink and outfly their opponent. The sky was their battlefield, and they fought with every ounce of strength they had. Missiles arced through the air, seeking their targets, each one a guided harbinger of destruction. They weaved through the chaos, their trails marking the paths of death and devastation. The mountains below, silent witnesses to this dance of death, were littered with the wreckage of fallen warriors. Each piece of debris told a story of bravery and sacrifice, a testament to the fierce battle that raged above. The mountains stood as eternal sentinels, watching over the final resting places of those who had given their all. As quickly as it had begun, the battle was over. The surviving jets, their fuel tanks running dry, limped back to their bases. The cost of victory or defeat was etched on the faces of the returning pilots. The haunted eyes, the grim silence. The casualty reports began to filter in. Both sides had suffered heavy losses. The sky, once so full of life, was now an empty graveyard. The world held its breath. The fragile peace had been shattered. What would the consequences be? The news of the aerial battle sent shockwaves across the globe. Stock markets crashed. World leaders scrambled to contain the crisis. The United States, caught in the middle of this geopolitical earthquake, urged restraint. But their words rang hollow. The balance of power had shifted. The old order was crumbling. A new era, fraught with danger and uncertainty, had begun. The world watched and waited, fearing the dawn of a new and even more terrifying conflict.